Hey guys, it's Presley. If you don't know me, nice to meet you. Let's talk sometime when this coronacation is over. Anyway, so as most high school students that are doing these messages, I don't know I could speak for myself, not for everybody, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about. But I still wanted to do a Devo. So I just kind of put it off for a few days, trying to think like something would eventually pop into my head and stuff. And I couldn't think, so what did I do? I actually moved rooms and painted. This is chalkboard, I did that because, I'm bored and what else is there to do? So I moved rooms, and in the midst of moving rooms, I found this card. It was behind a bookshelf, and I opened it, and it is from Bill, Mary, Ashley, Kira, Joshua, Wesley, Elijah, Jeremiah, Spillman. So the Spillman family, if you know them, they're great people. I love them. Anyway, this card is from 2015. They wrote me a card at summer camp. I think it was survival camp that year. I was in 8th grade. So I found it, and what is weird that I found it behind my bookcase, because what I usually do when people send me cards, this is a little fun fact, anytime someone writes me a card with a Bible verse on it, I always keep it, and I always put it in my Bible wherever their verse is, so that if I'm flipping through my Bible, I can just and I'll find a card and it'll be like, oh, and just remind me. So I don't know, it's just something I do that's kind of fun. Anyway, so this one wasn't in my Bible, which is kind of weird, but I'm glad I found it because the verse at the bottom was Jeremiah 29:11. So I just, I opened up my Bible and I put it in, and so I read the verse, and the verse goes like this: "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and hope." So that was the verse, and I was like, I like that, So naturally I was like, I think I can roll with this. It's better than my other ideas that I had, because I thought this one was something different. So I was looking up devotions on the internet to help me because, everyone needs a little help. And I found this one, and it was actually of Jeremiah 29:11-13, which I'll just read the whole thing. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." Jeremiah 29:11-13. So the devotion kind of goes like this. It says, "We spend a lot of time thinking about God's plan for us. While this is definitely a good thing, it is easy to have an attitude, it's all about me." So I'm going to stop right there. I'll continue in a second. When I read this, I kind of felt convicted because I'm a senior this year. So obviously I'm in the group where my prom and graduation and senior baseball season and all those fun things. My dog just walked by. He might bark. Please don't bark. Okay. If you hear it, that's what it is. Anyway, so my senior year is kind of cut short, and I actually just got an email today that was offering me to graduate early. I could graduate right now because I have all my credits. So this is a big decision for me because I have all my credits. So right now I'm just taking fun classes. So I don't know if I want to be done or I want to stick with the fun classes just for something to have. That's just my decision right now, and it's with everything. All the seniors right now are kind of facing it, at least the GHS ones, Christian school, whatever other school you go to. I'm sure you guys are having an interesting time too and missing out, and yeah, we're right there with each other. Anyway, so especially in this coronavirus quarantine thing, it's kind of hard for our seniors, and I feel like we all are trying to take pity on ourselves about it. But then the devotion goes on to say, "It is true that God cares about every intricate detail of our lives. Jesus said that even in the hairs of our head are numbered. And after all, when compared to God, everything is small. But should we expect the main purpose of God's plan is to make us happy right here, right now?" Jeremiah's message in these verses is radically different. Jeremiah wrote to a group of people held captive. They were ripped from their homes and now live in exile. He was reminding them that although they are not where they expected, God has not forgotten them. Definitely something that stuck out to me because exile, quarantine. Anyway, Even in this insanely hard situation, God's plan will stand. As Jeremiah knows very well, God is always good, and God hasn't forgotten them. Just a few verses earlier, we see a big part of for God's plan to them is to seek welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile. So I feel like this part right here kind of relates to where we are right now, because even though we can't, like, everything's shut down, you see how much our community has like came together and started helping each other out with Java Station, serving Carriage House, the hearts in the windows, just like the free drinks for our healthcare workers, things like that. And that's something I've always loved about living in Galesburg, is because we're a very community oriented town. Even through everything, we're always very positive and stuff like that. So that's something I've always loved, and I felt like Galesburg specifically like relates to this sentence right here. And then so it continues, it says, in other words, God wants them to know that his plans are not just to benefit them personally. God is also telling them that he is not removing them from the situation immediately. He does promise to restore them, but it's not coming quickly. Instead, it's 70 years out when many of them will be dead. Hopefully Corona doesn't last that long, but you know, we're comparing here. God is letting them know that they can move forward, because the eternal picture, God's justice, will prevail and everything will be made right. Let's see. Today, in the midst of difficult situations, God wants us to know that he has a plan and a purpose. He always wants us to know that we submit to his plan, and we will use us to bless the world around us. The key still remains during both good and difficult times. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. So there's two questions, I guess, that goes along with this devotion, which I think are pretty relevant and just good food for thought. So the two questions are, how does God want you to trust in his plan in the midst of life's daily difficulties? And for me, honestly, I'm not sure what, like, lately I've personally been this is something I've been struggling with. So I don't know, something like I've been struggling with personally, but since this quarantine, I've been more in my Bible, and with the daily devotions have really helped me too. So I feel like with everything going around, that's just something positive that's God's been doing in my life. The second question is, how does God want to use you to be a blessing to others? Again, I feel like this goes with the part I mentioned earlier about like how Galesburg is such an amazing community, and like how we're always supporting each other and small businesses and like other people. So I feel like God's just being a blessing, like through I feel like Galesburg's being a blessing to itself. Like the people of Galesburg are really helping like everything try to go smoothly, even though it's hard and weird times right now. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that, but it's just something that I did. So thank you very much to the Spillmans in 2015 for writing me this card that pretty much gave me the inspiration for this whole devotional. It's funny how God works, amazing how God works. If you want to write me a letter, I have nothing better to do. I'll put it in my Bible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So have a great day and stay safe and have fun.